What is going on, everyone? It is Foul Play here, and we're back again. We're picking up Bant again, back on that wagon. So mostly this is my green-white deck that I've been playing recently, except I've splashed in blue for Stubborn Denials in the main deck and Staggering Insight here in the main deck. As far as my lands are concerned, I have actually reintroduced Dryad Arbor into a Bant list, which I haven't done in a long time. We've got 7 fetch lands between the Misty Rainforest and the Windswept Heath here, so all our fetch lands are going to be able to find Dryad Arbor. Outside of that, we've got the usual mana confluence over here, the Horizon Canopies as a 2 of, and then we've got 1 of each fetch land and 1 of each basic as well. So auras, we have got play sets of the Ethereal Armor, of the Rancor, the Hyena Umbra, and the Daybreak Coronet. Then we've got 3 elves for the Gristburn, the Spider Umbra, and the Staggering Insight. I really think Totem Armor is quite important in Modern at the moment. Moving over to the sideboard, we've got 2 Soul Guides for Graveyard decks, 2 Paths for Creature decks, 1 Seal and 2 Force of Vigors for Artifact and Enchantment decks. 3 Gadok Tegan there, pretty specifically for Tron. The 4 Ley Lines are actually in the sideboard of this list, and the 1 Luris as the companion. So here we are for match number 1, everyone. We won the die roll, and we're going to be on the play. We're versing the based Greg. It says here my opponent is currently 2-0. So good on them. We've got this hand with very little auras, right? Very few auras. I'll just readjust that to a new spot there. We'll mulligan this one. Get our companion up here. So this hand looks a lot better. We'll keep this one. We'll bottom 1 mana confluence and I should also note that our land base can be less greedy because we do actually we don't need to have double blow up for Force of Negation because I'm not actually running Force of Negation in this list. Alright, so let's get that Temple Garden out there. We'll play our guy, we'll pass the turn, all of that. Just make all of that a little bit wider or nicer or something like that. Alright, so Stubborn Denial. Snow Forest. This could be the Bant deck that is Bant Stoneblade deck with Icefang Quaddles, that little squirrel things that draws cards, all of that. Alright, so opponent is actually leaving mana up at this point. And that's a pretty perfect draw. Let's go ahead and cast our Daybreak Coronet. Actually, I was thinking Stubborn Denial could answer the Spell Queller, but it can't. I guess we make them have it. And if they decide to block, we'll trigger our Totem Armor and it'll go to hand anyway. Right, so it looks like it's Spell Queller, not Icefang Quaddle. Remand. Oh, buddy. I got a surprise for you. Stubby D. So this means we'll be able to attack for 7. Alright. So yeah, pretty good first action from Stubborn Denial this leg. Can't complain about that one. Apparently my opponent is a Bogles fanatic and you've never seen something so bold, lol. What? Alright. Okay, so we're gonna go to sideboarding here now. And not really sure what we're versing. I saw the remands there, but like it's possible that there's still a creature deck where we're gonna want these Path to Exiles. I don't know if we want too much outside of that. Like maybe there's this suggestion that Soul Guide Lantern might be good, but I don't really think so. What do we not want here? It's possible Spider Umbra is not the best. We could trim on one. So outside of that, what's another trim that we could potentially make? I have a feeling like Core Spirit Dancer might be easily removed, so let's just submit this one. Actually, what I should do is I should update my deck list, and I should update my stream decker actually. Okay, so alright, so we got this hand with no creatures. We obviously mulligan. We got this hand with only Dried Arbor as our only land. So that's definitely going to be a mulligan as well. Opponent has actually kept 7. Alright, so we'll keep this one. We'll be like way less greedy with our auras. We'll get rid of the Staggering Insight. We'll get rid of the Grist Spoon, and we'll just go like sort of normal Bogles deck without going too wide or anything. Alright, so that stream decker should be updated now. Good. We do find a land, and we're going to be able to curve out nicely here. Opponent just with the fetch, the shock land there and tapped. Looks like either a remand or an Icefang Quaddle. Potentially Mana Leak. Alright, so Stubborn Denial could be useful a little bit later on. This is fine. As if this gets countered, we by Force of Negation, we probably Griff Spoon. No. Interesting. So are they holding double Spell Pierce here? So see what they do with this Griff Spoon. Griff Spoon resolves and attacking in. Okay, another Rancor. Opponent missing a land drop as well. Still, they have significantly a higher count in their hands, count of cards. Force of Negation, okay. So try this Ethereal Armor. Fortunately, we've had like really good auras, right? Let's see if there's any Icefang Quaddle here. No Icefang. Interesting. And on the Force of Negation, they pitched the Teferi Time Raveler. Alright, so we did win that one. Alright, so here we are for match number 2 versus Sloppy Sanchez, and we lost the die roll, which means we're going to be on the draw. This is, however, a very good hand, so we will keep. Oh, is this a burn deck here? So the base Greg in Paper Bogles have been having fun with the Bant list you beat me down with. Right. When did that one happen, man? Was that you I just first a moment ago, was it? Alright, so we'll just play out our turn 1 creature past the turn. Just got me on your last match with the Bant blade. Okay, good. Yeah, I thought you were on Bant Stoneblade. It's a bit unfortunate on that second game that you sort of missed your land drop for so long. As a Bogles player, I can definitely appreciate the frustration there. How's the league going so far for you, by the way? That was my first match. Oh, we've taken a bit of damage here. We're all the way down to 13. Stormwing Entity comes down. Scrying 2. So we're on 13. Opponent's still pretty healthy. So probably our best bet here is to set up blocks. There's potential for us to hold up a Stubborn Denial, but I don't really like that at this point. I think if we fetch a basic, and then we can do Hyena, Umbra, Griffspoon, and then if we block, it doesn't matter that our opponent has buffed up their creature, because our creature will still survive with the totem effect. 2-1 so far. Well, best of luck with the rest of the league. Hopefully, if you've got me on in the background, it's entertaining for you. Sprite Dragon. All right, opponent continuing the gas here. Okay. In this spot, I think blocking the Swift Spear is probably fine. We're going to have a giant life-gaining creature next turn. I doubt they can kill us with one creature here. They might be able to pop our Totem Armor. Okay, so they do flashback the Lava Dart, pop the Totem Armor. Alright, so we are going to be all in here. Interestingly enough, he didn't attack with the Sprite Dragon there. He would have put us to 1 if we did, potentially. Alright, so all in on the plan. We actually tapped out from doing that. That was a mistake. Maybe not. I don't know. That's a tough spot, definitely. Because I could just be dead to a lightning bolt if I don't attack or anything. I guess we'll see what they've got. Currently got 7 power on the board, so any burn spell will do it for them. Alright, so there's a lightning bolt, and we do lose this one. Alright. Unlucky. Alright, so moving over to sideboarding. Now, Path to Exile is obviously very, very good in this matchup. They do have Blood Moon in the sideboard, so we might want to consider some Force of Vigors. It's probably more of a consideration on game 3, though, than what it is on game 2. So as far as when we're on the draw as opposed to when we're on the play. I'll probably leave the Force of Vigors in the sideboard at the moment. A lot of people do bring in ley lines in this matchup. I'm not the biggest fan of it, honestly. Because we want to deal with their creatures, not with their burn effects. Their burn effects don't do the bulk of the damage. It's the creatures that do the bulk of the damage. Usually I take out all my core Spirit Dancers in this matchup. Although we're at sort of an awkward number with the 3 there. I think Stubborn Denial could be good. Opponent has seen Staggering Insight, so they do know about the blue. So either we could look to trim on some auras and bring in some number of ley lines, like maybe 3 ley lines that would disable our Lurus. Or we could just look to maybe bring in a Soul Guide Lantern and eat their graveyard. I think maybe 3 ley lines could be the idea here, right? I'm going to take out a Griffspoon because they do have Kozilek's Return in the sideboard. I might actually end up taking out 1 Griffspoon, 1 Stubborn Denial, yeah. Alright, that should do it. So our first hand, we do actually have access to a Dryad Arbor with Totem Armor and very little after that. So let's go ahead and mulligan this one. Alright, this is even less exciting than the first hand. Opponent is keeping a 7. Alright, so we will keep this one. We'll bottom Glade Cover Scout. We'll bottom Breeding Pool. And we'll get into it. So we're going to be locked off our blue for a little while here. But hopefully the time that Leyline buys us will give us enough time to draw into what we need. So just going for the Temple Garden here. With the Tomon creature by the looks of things. Alright, so I'd say Swift Spear is... we probably prefer to see a Swift Spear here than see a Soul Scour Mage. Alright, well, Leyline's a pretty dead draw, not gonna lie. And on a mull to 5, it's not looking too great for us. See how much pressure they can apply this turn. We do have path interaction, particularly if they play something big. It looks like they're setting up for the light up the stage into maybe a Soul Scour Mage. So Lava Dart and Spell Pierce exiled there. Oh man, the gas keeps on coming. Well, if we play that Bogle, we're playing it into a Kozilek's Return, so definitely holding up path here is the best spot to be. We don't want to, you know, 2-for-1 ourselves against a Kozilek's Return. It's a pretty good way to snap lose the game. Fortunately, my opponent's not had the most aggressive start, right? We could be a little bit tricky, like if they try to crack this Scalding Tarn out of turn, we might be able to get a path happening here. Explosives on 1. Alright, well that will eat their own Swift Spear. Are we just going straight for the explosives? Might actually path my own scout here. If he goes for it during his turn, that is. Wow. What can I say right now? What can I say? Alright. Well, all that resolves, and yeah, draws have left something to be desired so far. Alright, let's path our own guy in response to get our mana happening. And we might as well complete our colours just in case. We can play our Bogles off the blue mana, so it's not completely dead. Maybe we might want the access to the plains for if our opponent plays a Blood Moon here. Lava Dart targeting himself. Okay. I guess that enables the Stormwing Entity with the Scry effect. And he scries 1 top, 1 bottom. Alright, now we've got access to double Bogle. I think we just play 1 out and pass the turn, and yep. pray for something. Alright, so no pre-combat Blood Moon. Opponent has the option to Lava Dart his own creature, by the way, as well. Lightning Bolt, light up the stage. So another light up the stage. That's their 3rd light up the stage for the match. We're getting a pretty decent amount of value here. Oh, Stormwing Entity. Okay. So we should be able to fetch a basic plains pretty okay here. We still can't attack our opponent, unfortunately, though. He scryed double top. That is absolutely terrifying. And, I mean, we draw an enchantment, but a little bit too little too late at this point, I think. We've hit our 3rd hexproof creature and only our 2nd aura. And Swift Spear as well. Yikes. Well, we know they have access to Lightning Bolt and Lava Dart, so you can count the fact our opponent can have access to 6 lots of prowess here. So we're like pretty much dead. We do have to block this Swift Spear. Maybe I should have played out the other Bogle. I don't know. I don't think it really mattered what we did. I think we're just dead either way. Fortunately, we didn't see a very good hand. Alright, so opponent with the opt, and he opts to the bottom. It's interesting because he double topped, so he must have drawn the Swift Spear, right? Because he double topped before, drew the Swift Spear, had the opt in hand, and decided to get rid of the other card. So go to 1. Well, I'm not really sure what we can do here. Let's get ready to pack this one in, I think. Alright, well, we actually have some auras. Like, obviously, this would have been good a turn earlier and whatnot. But that's okay. Moving it on. Okay, so here we are for our match number 3 of this modern league. We're versing ACG, and we lost the die roll, which means we're going to be on the draw. We have got this hand, which is pretty slow and uninspiring. It doesn't really work well with itself, so we're going to mulligan it. Alright, so we get this beautiful no-lander into this hand. So we'll keep this hand. Says here my opponent was last seen 13 days ago playing Burn. Guess we bottom the Staggering Insight and the Spider Umbra and keep some life gain here. Oh, my lights just went out. That's interesting. Must be drawing slightly too much voltage at that point in time. All right, so we're versing Mill. Alright, well, we don't care about our life total versus Mill, so let's go ahead and fetch Shock. I will say Stubborn Denial should help with this matchup a little bit. You're cleaning at home. I have you in the background, man. Good to be in the background, I tell you. I very much appreciate it. I've decided I wanted to fix up a whole bunch of my old Game Boy cartridges because the batteries died. So I ordered some replacement batteries like a month ago, and they finally arrived. So I spent a decent amount of time last night resoldering my batteries, and now I've got a whole bunch of different Game Boy games to go back and play through. Alright, so we actually find our blue mana here. It's not the best spot against what our opponent's doing. But we can play Griffspoon plus Bogle and attack for a little bit. Opponent has milled 2 Stubborn Denials and, you know, a decent chunk of auras and creatures and lands and all of that. But Stubborn Denial is the most noteworthy card that we've lost there. Alright, we've lost 3 Stubborn Denials in just over 30 cards. We are still drawing auras, but they're not high impact auras, unfortunately. Then it's got the 3 toughness crab, otherwise I might diversify the damage a little bit there. Wow, it's gone out again. Jesus. Maybe I'll just try with the top lights and not the other ones. Hopefully 2 lights don't destroy the whole current. Like the 3 lights were. I do actually have 4 lights. The other one's down on the other side. On a circuit. Opponent goes to clean up. Yep, sure. After casting double visions. Alright, and we do find the Horizon Canopy. So we are going to be able to attack for 6 this time. And that puts our opponent close to dead. We've still got 23 cards in the library. So I guess we kill them in 1 attack, and they need to kill us this turn, but it's definitely doable for the deck to kill on turn 5. Second crab. Oh no, here comes the Field of Ruin. Watch, we get like a archive trapped as well at this point. We got no lands left to search out there. All right. No. Come on, man. That's so upsetting. Cool. Well, we literally lost from our opponent winning the die roll, right? That's so unlucky. Alright, so obviously Leyline of Sanctity is extremely good here. We got these summon denials that are also very, very good. Sideboard-wise, I mean, Path removes their creatures, which is something that we might want to consider. I think boarding an enchantment might be going just that little bit too far. Staggering Insight is probably our weakest aura here in the main deck. And we're going to have to make room and cut like another 3 cards on top of that. I kind of like Grifspoon because it comes back from the graveyard, but maybe we can trim 1 Grifspoon there. Fetch lands aren't the most amazing thing in the world because they do actually trigger my opponent's archive traps, like we saw from that Field of Ruin. So if we get rid of like 1 land, that's probably okay. We could trim a Spirit Dancer as well, maybe, and just get in there with that list. There's potential to bring in Gadok Teague, but I think a lot of the stuff we care about, a lot of their big stuff is 3 mana apart from Archive Trap, right? So it's literally hitting 1 card. So submit list, get into it. Wonder if we're gonna get the Fabled Hand, which actually has a leyline capable hand. It has been a really, really long time since I've had a leyline capable hand against Mill. Wow, okay, well this hand is pretty awful, so let's mulligan it. This hand's looking a lot better, but still isn't amazing, right? Okay, we'll bottom a Horizon Canopy. We'll start off with the Slippery Bogle and pass the turn to our opponent. I mean, Stubborn Denial is going to be doing the heavy lifting here. We're not racing particularly fast. If he has double Crab, we're probably in a bad spot as well. Alright, there's the first Crab. There's the Spider Umbra. Go and let this resolve without responding. Sweet. Alright, so I'm going to shock in the Hallowed Fountain here. And then I guess we play out our weakest aura, arguably. And our opponent did actually block last game. Let's see if he does something stupid this game. I can't imagine so, but go for it anyway. Alright, so we actually get in for 2 damage there. Maybe the shock made him think like a flash aura or something. I should have stubborn denied that. My mistake. I just went to skip through, like hard skip through the turn there. That's literally the reason for me doing the line the way I did. Alright, so now we've lost 20 cards here. Opponent with triple Crab. Wowee, man. This is kind of savage, really. Lost a lot of good cards to the graveyard. Farewell. Sometimes Mill just has the sheesh. Yeah, they always have it against us, Base Greg. Always. I mean, I didn't need to lose 13 cards there. I could have an extra 13 cards in our deck, but this is absolutely disgusting right now. Like a land milling 12 cards right now. Oh my goodness. Try not to tilt against Mill, but it's hard, man. Yeah, it's hard when like I should have a good matchup as well. Wow, we just continue to draw the most amazing cards in our deck. land creatures. They haven't even milled a Griff Spoon here. Not that we can counter much. So I guess we'll see if they put Obro to hand. I guess there's no reason for them to not do that. They are the trophy gatekeeper sometimes. Yeah, I'd say so. Mystical Dispute, Slippery Bogle. Like, look, you got me, man. You got me. Goodbye, Bogle. Goodbye, cruel world. Oh my goodness. And it's a fucking fetch land too, man. Oh my god. GG, I guess. Quad crab. One mill spell quad crab. Like, I mean, if we drew our paths, like, maybe, but probably drew the wrong half of our deck against the wrong half of their deck there, right? Alright, so here we are for match number 4 of this league. We lost the die roll. We're versing Blondness, and this hand's, like, a little bit weak, so I think we're going to mulligan. This hand's looking a bit better if we get rid of our Spirit Dancer. We've got some decent auras, some decent creatures, and should be in a good spot. It's another burn deck, another prowess deck. Okay. So no turn 1 haste creature, but we're definitely going to take a lot of damage from our land base. Bogle off blue for swagger purposes there. This is a very quick league so far. We're 30 minutes of actual gameplay in and 40 minutes of actual streaming. Sprite Dragon. Alright, so if we hit land, we can Staggering Insight, and that would be a very nice thing. So now I've got a choice of holding up Stubborn Denial or just going for the Ethereal Armor. I think we go for Ethereal Armor. Maybe we can put out a Bogle on chump blocking duty, but I'm going to play the Ethereal Armor here to try and power up a future Staggering Insight. Really missing the land drop there is the big issue. We're on the draw and we've missed land after 2 draws. It's a bit frustrating. Alright, so what's our opponent got? Looks like they're setting up for a pretty big play here, and that they're maybe going the Sprite Dragon, not the Sprite Dragon, the Stormwing. Hey Trapexia, how you going? How's your day been so far? Alright, there is the Stormwing entity. So, not too much damage to worry about this attack, but next attack could be very, very concerning for us, right? We're good, your day's been good. How the game's going? We're currently 1 and 2. Mostly, I mean, I think we've lost more to our own inconsistencies than our opponents doing crazy, overpowered things. Like here we've missed a land drop on 3 consecutive turns, so we're just dead. Alright, so good times. This is the second Prowess deck we're versing as well. Actually, I'm going to be playing Prowess in the league after this, which is another variant of Burn, which you haven't seen yet. So I'm going to go for that one. I'm gonna leave Leyline in the sideboard this time. Not huge on the idea of it. Maybe I'll bring in like a random one of Soul Guide Lantern over the Core Spirit Dancer, because Core Spirit Dancer is really awful in this matchup. How's your walking challenge or your running challenge going, Trapixia? Alright, so we have another amazing 7 here. Let's go ahead and throw it to the yard. Throw it to those gods. Alright, we'll keep this one. We've got triple creature, but we have Aura Daybreak. So obviously the Aura and Daybreak are a lot nicer to see. Hit on out that scout and pass the turn. It's going really well. You've completed 41 kilometers. Yikes. Well, I've hit my second run So that puts me at about 9Ks now, or 10Ks now. So I think you're doing a bit better than I am. I might be struggling to make the 100Ks at this point, but I'm going to try to make it up. My muscles are just like so tired and fatigued following each run. I'm also running up and down hills as well, which is taking its toll on me. I can do it. Get a massage? Man, I don't want to spend money on a massage, as nice as it might be. I've always like felt weird about going for a massage as well. Yeah. I mean, my runs are like sort of capped so that like if I'm running about 4.5Ks, I don't have to run up any hills. I can just do a downhill run. But if I want to do anything more than that, I have to deal with hills. Opponent with attack, light up the stage, and looks like they may have missed a land drop. Yeah, okay. And we get to resolve Daybreak Coronet here after our opponent's missed 2 land drops. Sorry, missed 1 land drop. I'll definitely take that. Nah, massages are amazing. Opponent concedes to Daybreak. Yeah, no concede. All right, they had us certainly like pause for a long time then. This is frustrating me. All right, so they won't concede to Daybreak, but they'll concede to second Bogle. 0 cards in hand. All right, anything we want to change. All right, so Soul Guide Lantern comes out, and we do have to be wary of Blood Moon. So I am going to bring in 2 Force of Vigors. I think we minus 1 Griff Spoon because it's bad against Kozilek's Return. We still have 5 ways to block flying creatures with our auras. Alright, so we have this amazing hand with no creatures and no life gain. So, I mean, let's throw that one. Alright, this one's looking a bit better, but the land base is a little bit on the painful side. We will keep. Get rid of a Mana Confluence, and we can get into it. Main problems with this hand is like we are soft to a Kozilek's Return, right? No turn 1 creature for our opponent, which is great for us. Another land drawn, which is less than great for us though. Alright, let's get our basic forest here. We'll play out our Bogle, we'll pass the turn. So this does lock me off of playing a turn 2 Staggering Insight. I think mostly I'm okay with that, like, because at most I'm going to gain 2 life with the Staggering Insight. But if they Stormwing Entity here, then I can't attack into it with a 2/2 Lifelinker anyway. It's got 3 power and toughness. Alright, there is the Stormwing. I'd certainly like to see some first strike here. We blank on first strike. Sort up Stubborn Denial. We can't attack into his creature, obviously. Hopefully he goes for like a Blood Moon or Kozilek's Return. Looks to blow us out a little bit. Manamorphose, sure. Lightning Bolt us, sure. They did actually float blue mana off that Manamorphose as well. Second Stormwing Entity. It's a little bit terrifying. So we're still in a position where we can't attack. Unless we draw some description of... We need to draw exactly Spider Umbra to be able to attack here. We could Hyena Umbra attack for 4. Hold up Empowered Stubborn Denial. Opponent has 2 cards left in hand. This is getting fetched for a basic Plains in any case. The only way we can attack this turn is if we Hyena Umbra. And we won't have Stubborn Denial up if we do this any other way. And we can't block their creatures, so we're sort of forced into attacking in this spot. But Ferocity Stubborn Denial is nice. Opponent, no Lava Darts so far. Get blown out by Metamorphose? Whoa, 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 whoa. He's just throwing away Stormwing Entity? Does he not catch the memo on first strike? What? That is a very bizarre block to make if you don't have Metamorphose. Opt is fine, we'll counter something that deals damage. They did scry top. This is Swift Spear. Alright, well that deals damage, but we can't counter it. There's a Soul Scour Mage as well. Opponent very creature heavy hand this game. So we take 5. Oh, there's the Mutagenic Growth. So that's the last card out of their hand. So we're going to be going very low here, but this is all he's got. Hello, baby. I mean, Staggering Insight is great and all, but it's no Daybreak Coronet, I'll tell you that much. Alright, the tides are turning. Let's attack for 7. Gain some life and have a big Vigilance creature on the board. What a draw that was. Wow. He's throwing away his Soul Scour Mage there. That doesn't make much sense to me. Like, we just trample the damage. Okay. That has to be like the 2 most consecutively lucky draws I've seen in a long time. Opponent concedes. All right. Turns out Daybreak Coronet is an extremely good card in this matchup. All right, so here we are for match number 5. We lost the die roll, so we're going to be on the draw. This hand is definitely a keep, though. Our opponent's kept 7, and yeah, let's get into it. Sunbait Canyon. Looks like we're versing a burn deck here. So if we fetch a basic plains here, a basic forest here to play our scout, we can't play our auras. So we do actually have to fetch shock here, which is a little bit unfortunate, or else we'll like lose a lot of tempo. But we are definitely helping our opponent with that move, and these pain lands in hand are also helping our opponent. So Lightning Bolt face. Basically what we want to do here is try and find some life gain. No Eidolon of the Great Revel for our opponent. Interesting. Alright, so we'll Ethereal Armor, we'll Hyena Umbra, take a damage, and that's probably all the damage I want to take this game, but that 1 damage on me is sort of worth the extra 2 damage on the opponent, right? It's Boros Charm, Lightning Helix, what are we getting hit with? It specifically taps for white then. Lightning Helix, alright. So if we can't find that life gain, Sacred Foundry and tapped. Alright, well now we've got a serious consideration on how many auras we play. Playing the Rancor is pretty good first step. That'll add 3 power to the battlefield. So if we attack here, we'll attack for 7, we'll put our opponent to 9. That's 1 attack off dead, pending no more Lightning Helixes. I think that's sort of worthwhile. slowing down the damage we take, because any aura we play next turn will add 2 damage. Boros charm us. Alright. So double lightning bolt effect and we're dead. The hand is full of stuff and skull crack. Lightning bolt. Man, they perfectly curve out here, or they fetch shock for a bit of swagger or something. Alright. Alright. So we lose that one. It was close. We were 1 attack off killing them, and they did win the die roll. So, like, literally the die roll won us, our opponent, that game. Alright, so obviously Leyline of Sanctities are really good here. Core Spirit Dance is a little bit weak. Having things like Path to Exile and Force of Vigor can be good. Path answering their haste creatures and Force answering their Eidolon of the Great Rebel without us taking damage. Weakest auras would just be these Griff Spoons. And probably taking out 6 cards is enough. Maybe going like double force on the play is a little bit greedy as well. I might minus another effect here. Not sure what. Maybe it's just a stubborn denial. Let's remove 1 Hyena Umbra. Alright, so, wow, this hand is awful. This hand has Daybreak Coronet. And Staggering Insight. We really are, like, land dependent here. I actually think this is a mulligan. Unfortunately. Alright, so this will be a keep. Bottom Hyena Umbra. Ethereal Armor. Keep the rest. Alright. Creature go. Alright, Goblin Guide me into like some painless land here. Alright. Always nervous to see a creature on the top there on such a hard mulligan. Alright, so we're in for 2. Opponent with a fetch shock there. I think let's get this Daybreak Coronet down as quickly as possible, even though it's going to be extremely painful to do so. I'm going to get the Hallowed Fountain as well. So we have potential to just die here. If we have Wear Tear, if our opponent has Wear Tear, we can get blown out. If not, and we get to untap with this creature, we're in a really good spot. So, Boros charm us. Okay. Is our opponent playing no creature burn or something? What's going on here? This is pretty crazy. Opponent concedes. Go team. Alright, so we might want the second Force of Vigor now that we're in this spot. Might minus 1 Stubborn Denial and we'll get into it. Alright, so this hand has problems. For one, we can't play Glade Cover Scout without untapping with the Dryad Arbor, so and it doesn't have life gain or leyline, so I think that's a mull. Pretty straightforward mull, right? Alright, we've got this hand, which can go in on a Dryad Arbor, but again, no life gain. We did have the Totem Armor, though. Oh, fucking hell, man. These hands are awful. Alright, we will be keeping this one, though. We need to bottom 2 cards. We'll bottom Force of Vigor. We'll bottom Dryad Arbor, because we're going to look to fetch into it. This is, like, really not a good hand to be keeping. We don't have a choice, though. We can't go to 4 and reasonably expect to win. Our opponent did mulligan to 6, so that might help us. Swift Spear. Alright, no free land for us. Okay. Okay, so you're telling me we've got Leyline and a Daybreak Coronet at hand? Yeah, sweet. Of all the top decks, that's a pretty good one. So this league we're versus 2 Prowess decks and 1 Burn deck. Arguments for Leyline to be main again, I suppose. Take some damage. Yes, no real harm in representing a Stubborn Denial or something. Can play out a Spider Umbra. We can attack for 2. Looks like our opponent's got some sort of effect here. Curious as to what he's doing because he can't Lightning Bolt us through Leyline of Sanctity. Okay. Just fetching a basic without doing anything. This is Blood Moon? Molten Rain. Alright, well there goes a white source. And they get their prowess. We take 2 damage. We did miss out on 1 point of damage there, unfortunately, because my internet's being a bit laggy at that point. We can hold this plains and like play around Molten Rain or whatever, but I don't really think that's worth doing. It's a weird inclusion for against Bogles. Rift Bolt goes on suspend. So currently the only target for that Rift Bolt is our opponent's own face. They sacrifice Fiery Eyelet and attack. Alright, well this is a 2-turn clock. Let's get in there. And they do have to Rift Bolt themselves or their creature here. Let's see what they go for. I shouldn't be like hard yielding the turn, but I don't have Stubborn Denial in hand and not really feeling like we'll get many percentage points out of pretending we've got it. Okay. Gonna Rift Bolt your self and then leave back blockers. Opponent concedes. Alright, so we do get the 3-2. So go Bogle team. Oh, that is the wrong thing to darken. Alright. Alright, so mostly I think configuration is fine. I think potentially like we could go down on Stubborn Denials and maybe up on Path to Exiles in the main deck. Maybe we could even have a 3-3 split between the 2 different cards. I think mostly Stubborn Denial is good and in a better place than Force of Vigor is, Force of Negation is for this deck. As for main deck inclusions, like Griffspoon felt really good. Having less reliance on hitting blue mana was actually nice, because a blue mana, like our Hallowed Fountain can still cast the Griffspoon right as well. So I think that actually, instead of having the Arcane Flight, which is a blue flying aura, having the Griffspoon helped, and this does return from your graveyard as well, which is nice. We didn't get that one off this league though. But yeah, I think this is a pretty tidy list, and if I'm playing around with anything, it's Path and Stubborn numbers between main and side.